Yesterday, in the cryptocurrency market, we experienced a truly historic event as we saw Bitcoin reach, pardon the redundancy, its all-time high in price. We're talking about nothing more and nothing less than Bitcoin reaching $69,000. Now, let's zoom in a bit on this hourly time frame and observe how, in an extremely surgical and clinical manner, Bitcoin has come to exactly the level of the all-time high. In other words, we haven't broken it to the upside, and we can't say that Bitcoin has achieved a new all-time high. Now, we have the daily time frame of the Bitcoin chart. And as you know, we've been monitoring this price working within this bullish channel. Remember that for a couple of weeks now, we've been operating under a bullish bias, as frankly, it has broken through all relevant levels and doesn't leave us any choice but to want to follow the price synergy. In the case of Ethereum, in this daily time frame, we see how its price has gone to seek its midline. Remember that a market channel is composed of a midline, a level, an alpha angle that passes approximately through the center of the channel. Clearly, this level must be identified and anchored correctly. At the same time, in the last video, it was also telling us that this does not mean that we have to wait for some kind of obligatory reaction simply because we are at the midline. Rather, quite the opposite. Our hypothesis was to exceed this level. And in that hourly time frame, we see how the price has broken through the midline as it pleased. And that's where we are. And now, if we look at the altcoins, for example, Cardano, we've been telling you that all the altcoins have recently been breaking through very, very relevant levels, which was also offering us a positive bias. Hence, we shouldn't be surprised by the aggressive movement that cryptocurrencies like Shiba Inu have shown. An absolute madness with Shiba Inu, as well as what Dogecoin has done. This clearly does not mean or imply in a secure way that Cardano should do the same or that Polkadot should also do the same. But what is true is that the whole ecosystem. Now, looking at Solana, we find ourselves in a border context in which if smart money ends up having that real intention of breaking structures and then looking upwards, we would therefore find ourselves in that key situation that could generate a bullish turning point. Of course, all this is still to be confirmed and validated. Okay, and if you're wondering how we can follow up on these hypotheses of looking for a bullish continuation, or, on the contrary, thinking that maybe we are in a scenario of a limit trap that could cause the price to drop, don't worry, because in this video, we're going to transmit that to you. Since, frankly, the information that Bitcoin is providing us in its hourly time frame, just like Ethereum is also doing, is really revealing. And as you know that I share everything and don't keep it to myself, now I'll tell you what I think could happen in the crypto market. But first, welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity. Let's start with the altcoins. Look at Cardano in its hourly time frame. Remember that we've been saying that its price has broken through a crack, a very relevant level, and very recently we've come to validate the structure, and now we're seeing a strong bullish impulse. So let's consider the following. It's very common that after breaking a crack and validating the structure in such a serious way, we could potentially be facing a flat pattern. Who knows? That in the future, if confirmed, could project us towards what is known in the crypto market as a bull market. But look, if you want to know what the best indicator is to follow up on this idea, this hypothesis will tell you that yes, we'll prioritize being positive in the ecosystem for the medium to long term, but it must be said that we are facing a threat. So, here we have a guideline that I consider to be of great relevance, on which recently we have experienced a very aggressive bearish episode. It doesn't have to be, but many times when we see this type of behavior, we can expect a correction of the bearish impulse that precedes it, maybe even with a Z, who knows. But if in the future we see that this guideline is strongly breached and threatened, look, we are on an hourly chart, and we expect prior events that will last many hours. But if we were to see this hypothetical break so strong, it would be time to think that all this in its entirety was a macro trap or a distribution process. Moral of the story in Cardano. In the long-term levels, it pays off to prioritize long positions, and our indicator to change our direction will be to see a hypothetical break of the structure I just explained to you. We have talked, of course, about the long term. If we talk about the immediate short term to our colleagues at Crypto Insight in a live session we did just a few minutes ago, we were talking about a micro-distributive process, about a defensive zone, about a bearish impulse that also aims to find the origin of the bullish channel break. Hence, it makes sense that during today's session, the idea of short positions is being prioritized. Now, let's move to the 1-minute time frame, something extremely aggressive, and in the live session I did with my colleagues at Crypto Insight on this 1-minute time frame, when the price was still around here, what we were looking for was for the price to break this diagonal, this upward guideline, to reach the crack, and on it, we would expect a trap. The trap that has occurred, an event that would project us an idea of short. And we are seeing how, for the moment, it is projecting the idea in a very favorable way. And if we go to the polka dot chart in the 1-minute time frame, in the live session, what we were specifically waiting for in DOT was a more aggressive structural trap. We wanted to see it around the 10,200, an event that did not occur. And from the 1014 level, which also seemed very relevant to us, it is from here where they finally decided to take the initiative to start with the bearish impulse. It's a shame that the price didn't reach the expected level to look for the short, but we also see that in Cardano, a scenario we were considering to look for the same short was executed. And since we are on the polka dot chart in this 1-hour time frame, we are observing that level as relevant. As I said, this bearish impulse certainly threatens. We will wait to see what they want to do, but we will also give great value to the fact that we are seeing, after a strong bearish impulse, a strong and immediate reaction. These types of changes are ultimately showing us that we threw ourselves out of our house to break a structure. It seemed like we were breaking it, but this wick is also showing us a clearly absorbed volume. An absorbed volume that later comes, validates the structure for us, and goes off to wherever they want, specifically, well, simply to the defensive zone that smart money is protecting through a distribution process in a smaller time frame. In the end, we were simply looking for this in the live session of Crypto Insight to look for that short idea I showed you for intraday trading. You know, an operation that lasts from seconds to minutes. But as we have that slightly more macro preference for long positions, we will be watching this defensive zone, which is ultimately nothing more than the relevant macro level that Polkadot has broken through. And there, we will see if the price wants to respect it or not, because in the case that you see that Polkadot respects that structure, the signal that the market would be sending is that we can see a great buying aggressiveness. Basically because these people who bought us clearly here are protecting their zone. But honestly, we're going to let the price work and do its thing, because it is true that here we have a very relevant guideline. And hey, let's see what they want to do if we have that priority for longs, but you have to know when to get off the donkey. And here we have this guideline, and if we were to see that the price in the future comes and attacks our structure in any way, friends, be very careful, because this could be a strong signal of bearish continuations for the medium to long term. Remember, we have a priority for longs. I'm just sharing with you now the idea that would dismiss that long perspective and transform it into a short perspective. And now you are seeing the chart of BGB, the Bitget token. Remember how we've been tracking this token with the sole aim of going long, because frankly, we've been very enticed by this bullish momentum of BGB. That's why we were buying all this area. You'll remember, that was the zone we were looking for to find a long operational idea and see if maybe one of them wanted to take us up. Once we saw that it already did its job, then we worked on this macro structure, and we've been telling you that we would look for opportunities in the lower areas of the structure. Notice if there have been opportunities here, and you'll also remember how we were looking for a structural trap. Notice if it has been a structural trap where we could also look for a long idea. Some of these we hope can take us on a longer journey. All of this, frankly, we don't know, but we work with hypotheses and probabilities. And now back to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's start with Ethereum. As I said, nothing tells us that the visit to this macro median line is a simple and curious excursion, but that we may have that bias towards longs. Because in the end, we have to take into account that here we've been working a defensive zone, and you're not going to deny that the price has respected the structure in a religious way, hence we have that bias towards longs. As I said, of course, this bearish impulse of Ethereum threatens, and here we'll see what they want to do to us. And the message is that we'll let go long if we see that the structure is pierced with strong aggressiveness. Meanwhile, we're also going to give great importance to the fact that after the strong bearish impulse, the market has responded with this strong, bullish impulse immediately. And here we have the main protagonist who yesterday came to give a little kiss to its all-time high. And here I'm going to share a very interesting reflection with you. A reflection that begins with a question. Do you believe that the price of Bitcoin has come to seek the all-time high surgically as a market limit to then leave and never play with the idea of surpassing it and giving us the headline? Pose another question. Don't you think that for large institutions it would be really interesting and enticing to have a headline in the world? Press on the front page saying Bitcoin has achieved a new all-time high. To find that headline, what do we need? Obviously, to surpass the all-time high. And you might wonder, why does smart money care about that headline? Quite simple. If that headline exists, many investors will want to enter the market. In other words, liquidity will appear. Liquidity where large institutions encounter one of their biggest problems, not having sufficient counterpart liquidity. And knowing that smart money manipulates Bitcoin to their whims and pleasures constantly, let no one be mistaken. They do it constantly, and it will always be like that, always and forever, considering that they are here up to their usual tricks. Hey, we don't know if they simply want to make the headline to leave or want to make the headline to leverage on a continuation, but it would seem very strange to me to think that this is the turning point for the market. Who knows, frankly, no one has a crystal ball, and why can't this scenario occur? But if you ask me, I doubt it a bit. But hey, time will tell, as within all these scenarios, we will seek our trading opportunities. Now, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Will the market go bullish, surpassing all-time highs, or have we already hit the boundary to strongly look downwards? Also, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future uploads. And if you're enjoying watching how this red candle is dropping at the time of this recording, and you find the content we produce on Crypto Insight interesting, don't forget to share this video with your friends and other trading and cryptocurrency communities. Good luck with your trading, and until next time.